Alrighty, we are going to do some scale drawings the next couple days here. And I just wanted to kind of show you our video to help us get started right away when it comes to actually setting this up to make sure that we can get it correct. At the end of this, we're going to have a full scale picture that's got a bunch of squares on it. And this is how we're going to do it. Starting with either triangle, doesn't matter, I'm going to use the small one. I am going to try and line this up with my image so that all parts are accounted for, okay? So as you can see, I need to make sure that Bart's elbow right here is inside of my square, right? It's to the left, meaning I'm gonna encompass it. And I also need to make sure like the skateboard and shoes are also down there, okay? Once I've gotten it lined up just like that, I can make a line on my triangle. Notice I'm not going all the way to like the edge or anything because we're actually going to do some measuring to figure out where I actually need to get to. But once I've done that, I can take it away and now I've got kind of this nice 90-degree corner that I'll be working with here. Okay, next step is we are going to put down our ruler and we're going to use the centimeter side. The centimeter side on a ruler has there's 0 through 30 on it. That's the side we're going to be using. And I am going to make sure that my 0 line right here is lined up right on the vertical line here. And then once I've got that, I'm going to bump it up right on the bottom line down here, just like that. Okay, it's really important that you get everything lined up. Otherwise, this is not going to work out nice. Okay, once I am here, there's a thing we're going to do, and we're going to look for a measurement that contains all the image that is also a multiple of 2. Okay, so if I start going 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. 14 is really, really close. I don't really want to cut off any of the wheels or anything, and that might do it. So I'm actually going to go out to 16, and I'm going to make a mark right at 16. And if I've got everything lined up, I'm going to go ahead and trace. If you mess up, that is okay. I've done this so many times and I've messed up probably 2 or 3 times each time, right? There we go. Make sure you're holding down tight. You're going to take your pencil and you're going to go all the way out to 16. Just like that. I have my first marker. You can see that my initial mark right there matches up with my line. All right. From there, I'm going to turn my image, and now I'm going to look at it this way. All right. And this time, again, we're going to get everything lined up here. If you really want to, you can do this as well. Okay, I like doing this because now I can line up my little centimeter line on there as well. All right, everything seems to be lined up there. And again, we're still going to be looking for a multiple of 2. I see 6 here, and that's going to cut off all of Bart's hair. So we are actually going to make a line at the 4 centimeter mark. That's going to encompass everything. Once I've got it all lined up, we're going to draw our line all the way out to there. So now I should have 2 different lines on there that look exactly like that. Picking up where we left off, we now have these 2 straight lines, which is what I want to see. And now I need to make the rest of my box. And actually the rest of our box is going to look nice and simple in the fact that we're just going to use 2 more things. We're going to go back to the triangle, and then this time I'm going to make sure it lines up with my line down below, and on that mark we made before, right? I want to make sure this edge right here is in line with it, and we can just start drawing this line right here. We just wanted to make sure that we were, again, having a right angle. That's the only reason we needed that. Next, we're going to take our ruler, and we're going to line it up again, making sure everything is all squared up. just like that. And again, we're gonna go out to where we made that original mark. For me, that was at 26. We wanna match it up there. Once I have that and I'm all lined up, I can go ahead and trace that line right there. And then this makes this line really easy. I'm gonna connect my 2 points and draw a straight line just like that. All right, so there we have it. We have Bart all encompassed in a box. And if we measure, we should get even measurements. So for this one, right, I'm looking, I've got 16 across. If I can measure even up here, and we can see that we're still right about 16, maybe a little bit off, but that's okay. If you're within like 1 centimeter, you are perfectly fine. Okay, so there's all that matching up. And then we can also check this side really quick. Right there is 26 centimeters. And up here we are still at 26. So everything should be lined up there. That is exactly what we want to see. Next up, we are going to now start creating the grid formation on this picture. So the way we do that is you can start on any side. You're going to use all 4 sides doing this. And you are going to want to make sure that everything is lined up here. All right, so I've got my 0 lining up with this line, 26 lining up with that line, and then I am parallel right there, which is going to be perfect. For this step, we are actually going to start making little tick marks at every single multiple of 2 that I see, all right? So we would do a little tick mark right at 2. It's important you make these kind of small, but still visible. Right, you don't want to use them as actual lines, but rather just as little markers. And you're going to go through and make these little tick marks at each of the multiples of 2. So just count by 2s, 20, 22, 24. Notice I've already got a line at 26. I don't have to mark that one. And there we go. We should have something that looks like that. You're going to repeat this process on all 4 sides. Remember, this littler side is not going to have as many, but still we're going to line everything up. Something like that. And again, we're going to go by 2s. So there's a 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. If you have more, right, some pictures, there's going to be probably 18 or 20 this way. Some pictures, you know, mostly 26 will be the biggest one we have. Go ahead and do the same thing there. But we'll keep going all the way around the outside of the picture. Right, I kind of jumped ahead here. I have now all my tick marks on all 4 sides. This is what we want to see. All right. Last step is we're actually going to make a grid on the inside of this by matching up all our lines. So I need to use my ruler, and I'm going to match up this little tick mark here with this little tick mark on the bottom. All right, make sure they line up. Just like that. Once I've gotten there, we're just going to do a nice straight line all the way through, and it should look something like that. And you're going to go through and do this for each one of these. Right, and just like that, we've connected all of our lines. You're gonna notice here, like especially on the skateboard, my lines weren't showing up that great, so I really had to make this line pretty dark. This one, it's okay to make your lines pretty dark on. When we get to the scaled up version, you're gonna wanna make them just a little bit lighter. That way the actual image shows through the most. All right, so again, each of these, if we look, they should measure 2 by 2. Right, there's 2. There's 2. You should make sure that all of your squares match up. This is why it was important that we chose a multiple of 2, because now I'm going to have an even amount of squares and every single square is going to be the same size. All right, when we get to the scaled up version, we're going to actually do the same thing. We're going to draw the grid first without any picture, but instead of going by 2, we're actually going to scale it up to go by 3. So we will get to that in a second.